Welcome to Liverpool fans. Today we've got the latest updates of your beloved club Liverpool. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of breaking news. Let's get started. Steven Gerrard's words carried unusual weight as he sat in the television studio, calm but unmistakably serious, reflecting on the possibility of Jurgen Klopp's return to Liverpool. It was not delivered as a soundbite or a headline-seeking remark, but as a deeply considered statement from someone who understands the soul of the club and the rhythm of the Premier League better than most. Gerrard did not hesitate in his assessment. If Klopp returns to Anfield, he believes English football is about to enter a new and far more demanding chapter. Gerrard spoke openly about how Klopp's departure from Liverpool left a void that extended far beyond Merseyside. In his view, the Premier League lost a certain edge, a distinctive intensity that Klopp alone seemed able to generate week after week. He described Klopp not simply as a successful manager, but as a force that shaped the league's atmosphere, standards, and emotional pull. According to Gerrard, when Klopp walked away, something essential went with him, something that made the Premier League feel raw, relentless, and alive in a way that no tactical system alone could replicate. The former Liverpool captain explained that Klopp brought meaning back to pressure. Every Liverpool match under Klopp felt like an event, not just because of the football, but because of the narrative, the energy, and the belief that anything could happen. Gerrard said the league felt different once that presence was gone. Matches were still competitive, titles were still fought for, but the taste of the Premier League, as he put it, had dulled slightly. Klopp's touchline intensity, his connection with supporters, and his ability to turn stadiums into emotional battlegrounds elevated the entire competition. When discussing a potential return, Gerrard was careful not to frame it as nostalgia. He rejected the idea that Klopp coming back would be about reliving the past. Instead, he described it as the beginning of something harder, sharper, and more demanding for everyone involved. Managers, players, and even referees, Gerrard suggested, would immediately feel the shift. Klopp does not simply compete, he raises the emotional and physical cost of competition. Facing his teams requires absolute commitment, and Gerrard believes that challenge is exactly what the Premier League has been missing. Gerrard also spoke from the perspective of a former Liverpool captain who understands how deeply Klopp reshaped the club's identity. He said Klopp restored belief to Liverpool at a time when belief was fragile, and in doing so, he reconnected the club with its most powerful values. Intensity, unity, and fearlessness became non-negotiable. Gerrard argued that these qualities did not just benefit Liverpool, but forced rivals to evolve. Clubs had to run harder, think faster, and dig deeper, because Klopp's Liverpool demanded it. According to Gerrard, Klopp's return would immediately shift expectations. Liverpool would no longer be viewed as a team in transition or recalibration, but as a club ready to challenge everyone, everywhere. That alone, he said, would change the psychology of the league. Title contenders would feel pressure earlier in the season. Mid-table sides would approach matches with more caution and respect. Young players would be tested mentally as much as tactically. Gerrard made it clear that Klopp's value lies in more than trophies. It lies in his ability to make players feel part of something larger than themselves. That sense of belonging, Gerrard said, is what turns good teams into historic ones. He believes Klopp's absence allowed the Premier League to drift slightly toward efficiency without emotion, toward systems without soul. A return, in Gerrard's view, would rebalance that equation. As the discussion continued, Gerrard's tone remained reflective but firm. He acknowledged that football has moved on and that challenges would be different this time. But he insisted that Klopp's core strengths remain timeless. Leadership, belief, and courage do not expire. If anything, Gerrard suggested, the modern game needs them more than ever. In closing, Gerrard described Klopp's potential return as a gift to English football, not just to Liverpool. A new era, he said, not defined by comfort or familiarity, but by challenge. The Premier League, in his eyes, has been waiting for that edge to return. And if Jurgen Klopp walks back into Anfield, Steven Gerrard believes the league will taste sharper, fiercer, and more alive once again. Liverpool's January transfer window is quietly approaching a defining moment, and the shifting landscape around Mickey van de Ven has opened up a scenario that could reshape the club's defensive future. On the pitch, Arne Slot's side appear to be moving in the right direction. A commanding Champions League victory away to Marseille has strengthened their European campaign, while an unbeaten run across competitions suggests growing stability. Yet beneath the surface, the draw-heavy league form and looming contract uncertainties mean Liverpool's recruitment team cannot afford to stand still. Defensive planning has become a pressing issue at Anfield. Virgil van Dijk remains an elite presence, but time is no longer on Liverpool's side when it comes to his long-term succession. Ibrahima Konaté's situation adds further urgency, with the Frenchman's future unresolved and the possibility of him departing without a fee still hanging over the club. The failure to secure Marc Guéhi, who instead joined Manchester City, only sharpened the sense that Liverpool must now act decisively if they are to avoid entering next season short at the back. This is where Mickey van de Ven enters the conversation in a serious way. The Tottenham centre-back has grown into one of the Premier League's most imposing defenders since arriving from Wolfsburg, combining extraordinary recovery pace with calmness in possession and positional intelligence. At 24, he fits the profile Liverpool value most, proven at the highest level, but still with years of peak performance ahead. For Arne Slot, the appeal is obvious. Van de Ven's Dutch background, tactical discipline, and ability to play in a high defensive line make him an ideal candidate to anchor the next era of Liverpool's defence. Tottenham, however, are in no mood to make life easy. Reports suggest Spurs have placed a staggering £100 million valuation on Van de Ven, a figure that would make him the most expensive defender in football history. It is a clear statement of intent from North London, designed either to ward off suitors or to ensure maximum leverage if negotiations begin. For Liverpool, fresh off a summer in which they spent heavily to refresh the squad, a straight cash deal of that magnitude would be extremely challenging. That is why the emerging idea of a player plus cash arrangement has caught attention, with Curtis Jones increasingly central to the discussion. Tottenham are believed to admire the Liverpool midfielder and see him as a player who could add creativity and goal threat to their engine room. Jones, still only 24, has matured into a reliable Premier League performer and remains deeply connected to the club that developed him. His contract situation, however, places Liverpool in a delicate position. With just 18 months remaining on his deal, the Reds must soon decide whether to extend his stay or consider their options. From Tottenham's perspective, including Jones in a deal for Van de Ven could significantly reduce the financial burden while delivering a homegrown, versatile midfielder entering his prime. For Liverpool, the calculation is more emotional and strategic. Jones has spoken openly about his dream of captaining the club and spending his entire career at Anfield. Letting go of a local academy graduate is never an easy decision, particularly one who understands the culture and identity of the club so deeply. Yet elite football often demands hard choices. If Liverpool believe Van de Ven is the long-term cornerstone of their defence, a swap-style deal could represent rare value.